Disgusting. Disgusting. And awesome. All right, let's see what we got here. Commercials.
Today's video is brought to you by our friends over at Displate. Ladies and gentlemen, as somebody that's working on at least one project in regards to a game known as Cyberpunk 2077, this year and last year, I've basically been playing a couple games that have sapped hundreds of hours from me. And this is where Displate, our sponsor, comes in, helping me provide a way to actually spruce up my gaming environment with actual posters of games I like Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty. And let's not...
What is going on here? What is going on here? For God's sake, stop it.
And of course, the best part about some of these is having the magnet mounting system, which means...
God damn it. Are we get over this shit. Just get over it.
Displate deals before they're gone. That said, let's get to the video. Hello guys and gals, me Mudahar, and over the last week and a half, I was watching something known as CitizenCon. Now, if you remember a year ago, I made a video where I talked about Star Citizen and how I personally just didn't feel like it was really going to go anywhere. Now, before we go into these videos, I want to talk about a little bit of something called nuance when it comes to these topics. Look, I'm not going to come here and be the biggest hater on this project. I ain't no Derek Smart, ladies and gentlemen, all right? I'm not a dedicated hater like some would imagine. But I'm also not somebody that just drinks the Kool-Aid when it comes to the cult. Now, to recap people in the audience watching, Star Citizen initially first showed up on Kickstarter.com with an initial pledge of $500,000, where they ended up raising $2.1 million, all because a industry veteran known as Chris Roberts, who worked on a game known as Wing Commander, who also brought up the idea of Freelancer until Microsoft had to come take it over because of serious mismanagement, a story we'll get to later, and now who runs Cloud Imperium Games, a massive crowd-funded gaming studio that has raised about $700+ million without...
All from fans that want the everything game, all from people that want this. I don't know why I have to do this like on every video. These videos are obviously put out there to bring clicks and monetize. The people that are calling this game a scam are in fact scamming you by making the craziest clickbaity shit that they can find. All this is a game that brought in $800 million from people that really want to play a game that they promise that they're going to deliver. That's it. At the end of the day, it's simple as that. It's either going to be delivered or it's not. Simple as that. I mean, anything other than that is just drama. It's like manufactured fucking drama. It's going to take as long as it's going to fucking take. And, you know, it's still in fucking alpha, so it is going to be still a complete mess. I mean, yes, there's a lot of fucking mess here. What do these people want? It's not a finished game. Walk away. If you're not happy with it, just, you know, I don't get this. Like, you make a 42-minute video bitching about it. Like, is it really worthwhile? Like 42 minutes of saying that Star Citizen is a mess? Like people don't know. Like people don't know. But they haven't like given any like credit to the fact that they've already done amazing things. That like they throw them in the fucking dumpster fire. Planetary landing, seamless fucking fucking landings onto planets from space. Amazing cinematic visuals. Amazing everything you look at, like scale, just one solar system. There's all these great things that people just like throw under the bus, like forgetting the baby with the bathwater type shit that have happened, that people just are like, oh fuck it, let's on to the next thing. They don't give credit where credit's due. They would rather create videos stating the obvious. If you're that upset that the game isn't done yet, then you have to look in the mirror and ask yourself, like, what the fuck are you so upset about? Play another title, go outside, or maybe you want to make a video for 42 minutes so that you can get maximum monetization value and just scam everybody out of their fucking money with your clickbait. What's this guy's name? Some Ordinary Gamers with 3.8 million subscribers. I mean, that's the sad state of the fucking world. You got a company that there's no other company doing this. There's not one other company that's doing this. Name me one other title that's promising this. There's nobody out there. Name me one. Name me one developer that's doing this. The tech that's involved here could be worth billions if they actually they're reimagining dynamic server meshing. If they complete that, that'll bring in billions of dollars of revenue. People that think that not and say that I and others that say this are crazy obviously don't have a fucking clue on what's being worked on here by Cloud Imperium. They have no idea. But I'd rather fight for the dreamers and the people trying to make the dream become a reality than be somebody who just naysays the shit out of something and be right about it. I'd rather be the dreamer that fails and had an amazing journey than be the naysayer that completely fucking throws shit at this project and be right. I would actually rather be wrong. I would be the dreamer who was wrong. If this fails, I would be the dreamer who's wrong, and the people that would naysay it would be right, and I wouldn't give a shit. I would just love the fact that I went through the journey of it. And yet, there's people that want to see this go down. There's people that want to see this go down because they feel somehow that Chris and Cloud Imperium have stolen from them and that it's taken too long. It's obviously taken a long amount of time. But like, if you're that wrapped up into the fucking naysay and the hate, like, just take a moment and ask yourself, like, really, why? You're not saving me. You're not saving anybody who's an adult who has a rational mind and understands that they put discretionary money in this. You ain't gaining anything. You don't win a trophy if you're right. It doesn't matter. If you're a gamer and you want a new experience, then you should be rooting for this shit. Period. Because there's no one else out there doing it. There's no one else out there doing this. Even if they can't do it, they're attempting it. No one else out there is attempting this. And yet, we're going to make a 40-minute video about how it's a complete mess. And I can guarantee you this guy's doing this shit for monetization. He ain't telling me anything I don't already know. I'm not surprised by any of the information that he brings here. I've heard it 1,000 times before, packaged in 1 million different ways. And I'm still here, and you're still here. Written by AI.
Without any single game release so far. So when you watch the first like actual showcase of this Star Citizen Indiegogo or Kickstarter video, you can see Chris Roberts sitting in front of pretty tacky CG, just pretty much being an endearing game developer who people had looked at and said, you know what, the guy behind Wing Commander, I can sign up for it. Now, space exploration games are nothing.
Yeah. Because I had a great time with Wing Commander. What's this guy trying to say? Like, that everybody that grew up in the generation where we played Wing Commander, that we didn't have amazing experiences? It was a fucking revolutionary game. It was a fun game. It was replayable as hell. Like, so that doesn't mean anything. Like, there's, yeah, Chris Roberts has failed on projects, but he's also had successes, just like any fucking human being.
New, okay? Since the time of Star Citizen's announcements, there's been plenty of other games that have jumped into the mix. Games like Elite Dangerous, more specifically No Man's Sky, that had an entire arc where it completely got lambasted by gaming media. Hello Games had to basically dig into a bunker, code an actual game, and several games on top of it pretty much at this point in order to claw back a lot of goodwill. A part we'll get to in a bit. Now,
I mean, good for Sean and Hello Games for doing that, by the way.
Obviously, that funding didn't just stop. With 5.3 million Star Citizens in the world and $734 million raised, the level of stretch goals just kept being added until 2014.
Which all the fans wanted, which was the fans that voted on all these stretch goals, by the way. So, when people say, oh, this is taking too long and all... They all voted for it. They wanted an everything game. Every one of these proposals got voted through by fans. Everyone wanted more. The reason why it's taking so long is because everyone wanted an everything game.
When we reached to like $65 million. What's
wrong with wanting an everything game? What's wrong with that? other than it's going to take an extraordinarily long ass time to finish.
Cloud Imperium offering for $65 million, you might ask? Enhanced ship modularity, so you can have the ship of your dreams. Now, of course, ladies and gentlemen, obviously this game is in alpha. If you go to the actual website for Cloud Imperium Games, you can see that their games are Star Citizen, which you can play early access now. And one that I'm genuinely excited for, that I have a package that I pre-ordered since back in the day, Squadron 42, the single-player cinematic adventure that's supposed to get you into the Star Citizen universe, kind of like the crack cocaine the dealer gives you as a sample. So, ladies and gentlemen, to give you a quick roundup of Squadron 42, if you actually look at one of the original release date trailers for this, I want to show you this just to give you a little laugh. This was Squadron 42 Bishop Senate speech, uploaded October 10th, 2015. So while this trailer looks pretty cool, you've got like, big casts over here, you've got pretty good visuals for their time, and I would say still so much so. Towards the time you get to the end, you can see, of course, they've got, the big set of names being offered, yada, yada, yada. And of course, answer the call, 2016. So, of course, 2016, as you all know, has passed. We've been through, a couple of presidential cycles at this point. If we had another week, we've gone through basically 2. And what has happened since then, ladies and gentlemen? Well, because of CitizenCon, we ended up getting a bit more of an update. So since the last time I talked about this, a lot of the people at Cloud Imperium Games have been kind of updating their audience pretty well. And I want to stress, this is good. It's good to have
that level of transparency, yes.
Updates in a video game, okay? It's good to talk about updates and keep your audience and keep everything transparent and kosher, okay? At the end of the day, if you're a crowd-funded company, even if you have shareholders, even if you have backers, however you want to differentiate it, it's always good to at least be upfront and be transparent with what you're building. Now, about 1 year ago, just after I had made the video that I had made about Star Citizen last time, they actually released a gameplay demonstration. About 20 minutes of footage you could see of the immersive single-player campaign, right? So they had a modified user interface, and of course, it was kind of like this really immersive game where you weren't just flying a ship, you were like literally doing every aspect in front. The animation was designed so that you could immerse yourself in every aspect, okay? You gotta tap every single button, every single ship has its different style to it, and again, they're trying to make it look as realistic and immersive as they can. Remember, this isn't supposed to be a space game. It's supposed to be a space simulation. And mind you, it wasn't supposed to be a game that was just a flight simulator, a space flight simulator. You also had situations where you were on the ground and engaging in actual combat. So they had a first-person module where you were fighting actual characters. You had some destructibility with debris, as you saw right there. It was a pretty interesting single-player campaign. And I guess the best way to kind of put it is, if you ever played games around 2004, 2005, games like Doom 3, you might notice that there is a lot of immersive elements they put into those video games.
Erad is saying, why is he making himself so big on the video? Dude, I was just wondering the same thing. I have no idea why the guy is making himself so big on this video. I could just say I think it's rather distracting. And, oh, shit. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Okay.
Time, like beyond just shooting, when you're interacting with things like computers, you're actually operating with like user interfaces within the game. And it's something that you would see in titles like immersive, like first-person shooters. So it wasn't just a game that was supposed to be, again, the space dogfighting simulator. It was supposed to be you doing everything. Now, to recap how Star Citizen plays in uniqueness to other actual space exploration games, this is a game where you have to wake up out of bed. In this case, I woke up out of a hospital bed because the game had me crashed out and I lost every bit of progress. So I woke up in the hospital, took the elevator downstairs, which people don't really describe the real extent of how scary it is. People have said games like Silent Hill is scary, and I agree, but there's nothing scarier than taking the elevator in Star Citizen and hoping to God you actually make it to the ground floor, or in case if you don't, you might get sent to the ether, lose your progress, die in the middle of nowhere. Getting off planet is its own actual task. Then, of course, it's going downstairs, getting yourself kitted out, making yourself be ready for space, maybe purchasing more ammunition, maybe purchasing some new tools, just to help you in your quest. Then is taking the actual tram all the way over to the spaceport near your area, and then
I know this is a continual bitch because everybody just wants to hop up and be kitted right away and have an amazing fucking ship. But guess what? This isn't Fortnite where you just instantly go and you go run and gun and shoot and die and then get loaded up again. This is not like your average game. This is not a BR. This is just an actual game that makes you think about what kit you need, what ship you need, who you need to be around. And these elements have to be there. Unfortunately for some, fortunately for me and others, this is part of the process. It is an MMO. Thank you, Let's Go. Thank you for that, bro. I want to wake up and have to do this shit. And at this phase, it is very frustrating. And I get that. It is a fucking alpha. And I understand people just want to get up and go. I get it. I can be that way too. But in the long run, in an MMO, when this game is polished and finished and everything's flowing, going the way that we need it to, that is when it's most important that the game stay this way. I want to wake up wherever it is I fell asleep, and I want to continue my day as a citizen. That is the whole fucking point. That is the whole fucking point of an MMO. The realism. You wake up where you fucking fell asleep. You get that fucking vibe where you're actually in the game and it's immersive AF. And that is just part of what the people want. The most hardcore Star Citizens wanted this way. And if that changes, I will be upset. I will never stop screaming about that shit. If that were to leave, the shit that people usually bitch about, if this shit leaves, I might leave. If I don't get to like kit myself out, if I don't have like great choices of all the fucking kit I want, if I don't have great selection of things, if all my options start going, it just starts me up and boots me up ready to go. That is the day I quit Star Citizen. That will be the day that I have a grumpy eye moment.
Calling on your ship, getting inside, getting launch clearance, and leaving into the atmosphere, then taking on a mission, whether it be delivery, research, salvage, pick up trash, maybe take out some enemies. Really, the world is your oyster, okay? You can do whatever you want. At the end of the day, you are...
Daft is really sticking up for... What is this guy's name? I've seen him before on a couple other videos. Some Ordinary Gamers. Okay. Daft is really wanting us to know that he Daft's advocating. Daft is my super mod. What he says carries weight. And so far, this is why I'm still watching. This is Daft, actually. I was about to go next on this. I was about to just shut it down, but no. It was because of super mod Daft coming in here and let me know, like, hey, continue forward. The last video, Maddie got me through it. Now this one, Daft is getting me through this.
A Star Citizen. And it's this level of freedom and immersion that I think sets Star Citizen apart from literally every other space exploration game, if not every other game out there. And if you're somebody that genuinely doesn't have the patience to deal with the jankiness right now, there are actual like contained modules you can play right now that get you right into the action, whether it be the first-person shooter combat or the actual space combat itself. One of the things that I talked about in my last Star Citizen video was I kind of made an implication, pretty much downright said that the game is pay to win. So for anybody that doesn't remember the fun parts about Star Citizen, I'm going to show you how much ships cost in pledges. Now, if you go to Robert Space Industries pledge store, a lot of the whales in this community can choose to purchase some actual pledges. You can purchase ships that cost an arm and a leg, quite literally. For instance, do you want the 100i, a multi-role starting touring ship? That's $50, and because it says flight ready, that means you can apparently use this actual flight. But $50, whatever, people could spend that kind of money. What about the most expensive ship? Well, if you go price...
Nobody in the right mind buys the expensive ship except rich motherfuckers that have that type of discretionary income. Like, I don't get why people get upset about this shit. Obviously, people are buying it. Obviously, people got the money for it, and it ain't fucking me, and it most likely ain't fucking you. Because only the people that are buying those expensive packages are rich motherfuckers, and we are not rich motherfuckers. And if you are, congratulations. And by the way, I have a Patreon page. Go check that out. So this whole thing where people start to get angry about this, I don't understand. Like, do you guys get this? Like, when people like get angry about the expensive packages, every game's going to take advantage of whales. People might not like it, but it's a fucking valid tactic. If you're a company, put out the fucking packages. See what people will spend. See what they will spend. That's called capitalism. If people spend that kind of money and they don't have that kind of money, shame on fucking them. Like, shame on them. Does a company have to handhold every person that pledges to Star Citizen? If you're Cloud Imperium, do you have to handhold them and your TOS say, oh, by the way, if you can't afford these packages, don't spend the money because you're a dumb fuck and you got the mentality of a child or you have a terrible fucking addiction? Do they have to handhold like everybody that comes to the game? Is that the way business is supposed to be done on a socialist level, on a fucking Marxist level? Like, listen, I feel bad for people who have fucking addictions like this and can't control their spending. It's called gambling. Go ahead and fucking get some fucking help. But like, should everyone be responsible for that? No. Unfortunately, we're not the type of world where like we're going to get involved in every person's fucking life and say, oh, well, you can't spend this, John, because you only have $30,000 as your net worth. And this package is $34,000, which means you're using a credit card for the $4,000 difference, which has an APR of 30% because we're in 2024 and you are going to go broke and your wife is going to divorce you and your kids will never call you dad again. Like, have we gotten that fucking crazy and that weak? I mean, where has rationality gone? Where has it gone? We are creating weak people and we're endorsing them. We're endorsing and protecting. Listen, I know I sound horrible when I say this, but like we're fostering this fucking weakness. It's crazy.
High to low, you'll find crazy stuff like $600, the car rack. That's a ship in a game, by the way.
Okay, man. Fucking Christy's son just dropped $600 on a fucking console. You know, I mean, like, it sounds crazy, but like people, if they got the money, they're fucking gonna spend it. And they support this and they want this game to become a reality. So like, fuck it. And generally speaking, I would say a large percentage of people have a brain and are rational adults. You never hear about them though, but there's plenty of people out there like that, I would like to think. And they're putting their discretionary money towards this.
The Caterpillar for $330. Now, some ships that are unavailable for purchase, thank God, are ships like the Kraken Privateer at around $2,000. Now, you might be like, whoa, that's a lot of money to put towards a ship. Is it flight? No, that's a concept ship, ladies and gentlemen. Now, thankfully, these aren't available. And of course, Star Citizen, from what I've heard and seen, is kind of like Ferrari, where the more and more you purchase, I believe the more and more access you get to some of these things. So you might have seen those articles on the internet of like these massive packages being worth like 40 grand. In reality, I don't think most people can purchase them. You kind of have to be like a pledger, like a pretty consistent pledger in this universe in order to get like access to some of those higher tiers. No, everything in Star Citizen can actually be earned by playing through. So it's about as pay to win as Grand Theft Auto Online. You know, you can either choose to purchase that goddamn Oppressor Mark II with shark cards, or you can be a douchebag and grind your way up the game just so you can buy that piece of shit. At the end of the day, you're both pieces of shit. One of you just used mom's credit card, okay? And I guess the same logic can apply to Star Citizen. So to whittle it on back to this whole like story, why am I looking at Star Citizen this hard again? So ever since the last CitizenCon, which happened about 10 days ago, there was a bunch of stuff that ended up being revealed over the course of 2 days. Now, CitizenCon happened, I believe, in Manchester, where I think Cloud Imperium Games literally just launched another studio again. And mind you, this is a game that if we go back, literally has nothing released in complete access right now. Only one game is early access, and the other one is in development. Now, in the last 10 days, the reason I'm looking at this again with fervor is, again, this is a game that CitizenCon happened about 10 days ago, and there's been a few more celebrities that have been put into Squadron 42, a game that is still in development. So 10 days ago, they posted this footage at CitizenCon 2954, a live gameplay reveal that lasted 1 hour, 16 minutes, and 12 seconds. And again, if you actually watch this, one of the interesting parts about Star Citizen, and one that I absolutely defend to the ends of the earth, is the fact that it is an incredibly immersive game. There's nothing that can be taken away from the fact that, like other games, they would put you through menu screens, but Star Citizen literally has your character getting up out of bed, putting their actual clothes on, talking to characters, immersing themselves in an environment before they end up getting into a ship and actually fighting in a massive galactic war. And it's not just space combat, like I said, it's also actual FPS combat inside these areas, in genuinely good-looking environments. It's one of the reasons why I think like people genuinely get excited, because what Chris Roberts and his company is doing is actually developing a video game that people have kind of dreamed of. It's just a shame that this dream has taken so long to come that the people who are probably some of the most excited have ended up being the most jaded out of this entire.
That's not true. That's not true. That's not a valid point. There are plenty of people that are not being fooled. There are plenty of people that are not jaded about what this is. There are plenty of people that are still fans to this day and have gone through the grind and have supported this project and understand it's been this way for a very long time and continue to believe, because there is no one else. Listen to me. What's this guy's name? What is this guy's name? Some ordinary gamers. Listen to me. Some ordinary gamers. Listen to this very carefully. There is a large section of people that are not being fooled. We see it for what it is, and we're still pledging, and we're here because, make sure this is on. There is no one else doing this out there. I don't know how much more clear that I have to be. Do I say these things all the time that make complete sense, and then somebody runs with what it is that I say and then blows up? Because that seems to be the pattern. I say it, and then other people start to say it, and then it just blows up huge, and I don't get any fucking credit. The banana fountain gets no credit for any of these.
Banana fountain.
Story. So yeah, by the time you get to the end of this entire situation, they put another release date in this story, okay? So Squadron 42 is now coming 2026. Now, a little bit in the beginning of this video, I showed you, 2016 was it? Yeah. So we're now looking at a 2026 release date. And if you've been following Star Citizen development for anything, you have to basically tack on an extra year and a half to anything this company promises if you even want to be fucking close to realistic about any of the dates they provide.
It'll come out 2026 because they've got way too much money invested in it, and they've got way too much time invested in it. And as a business, they understand that it has to be out 2026. If it doesn't come out 2026, you're going to have the oldest, angriest members in the world. You'll have the veteran base basically saying F you, and their money will go down. The revenues will go down. Chris is smart enough to know this. This is it. Shit's hitting the fan in 2026. It's getting done. If it doesn't, there's going to seriously be a large, very loyal base of citizens that will turn, me being one of them. So I think Chris understands this. I think we are at that point in the game where we can see the progress, where we're seeing the polish, we're seeing everything that's happening. There's been a shit ton of progress happening these past 2 years. One of the years, everybody was saying there was no progress, and yet there was. And then the next year here in 2024, when people are seeing everything that's done, it's like they forgot everything that was done up to this point, and they're going crazy telling you, oh, this is never going to get done again. When in fact, we saw the progress happen. I was saying it was happening. People were 95% out there were saying there was no progress happening in this game. They flipped the script around CitizenCon, and then they got pissed off again right after CitizenCon. And it is just mind-numbing to me. It is mind-numbing to me that people can't see that they are the only one attempting this. And by this, I mean reimagining new tech like dynamic server meshing so that you can have 1,000-player fleet battles, which has never been done on this level. The scale is off the fucking chain with this. There is no other developer out there trying to do this, not one. That is why there's so much support. They have no competition. There can be no second best. This is the dream. They are cornering the market on the everything game. Not one is attempting this.
Now, one thing that Star Citizen Con had that I think made people laugh is the fact that even their demonstrations actually started crashing on stage. So this is one posted on Livestream Fail where actual users shared the fact that as they were showing the space dogfight, at one point, freeze, and then boom, the game actually crashes. Now, I don't consider this a fail. I actually think out of anything that any game developer has shown, I'd rather see when something crashes versus carefully produced bullshot footage.
Because you know it's actually the game. I had so many people DM me like, do you think that was real, DG? Yes. And how dare you be in this community and not know that? Come on, smarten up. Smarten up. I love you. Listen, you're fans, okay? You're fans. You DM me and you asked me, do you think that was real, DG? Yes. It was gameplay, man. They were playing the game. It wasn't fake footage. It wasn't fake footage, guys. This is how the Star Citizen content creators out there have conditioned the majority of people that are viewers wondering about this project. Even people who've played the game for years. I had a DM from a dude who's played Star Citizen for 4 years. 4. And you know who you are. Hold on. He knows who he is. He's watching right now. He knows who he is. Hold on a second. Hold on. Shaming you. I'm shaming you, bro. I love you, but I'm shaming you.
Shame.
I'm shaming you.
Shame.
I love you, but you deserve that shame. That's tough love, and you know who you are. Yes, it was game footage.
That is running on a build that probably is something that we would never be able to touch. Now, obviously, this is a build that I don't think anybody's going to be touching too, but I'm glad they're showing actual gameplay and an actual crash from an alpha title. Remember, this game is still in development, even though that development has lasted quite some years. Now, since the last time I looked at Cloud Imperium Games, there's been quite a few things that have come out that have made people a little bit shaky about the situation, right? So one of the things you started to see around Reddit, around Star Citizen, was 12 years and $700 million later. What's going on with Star Citizen's developments? As of 2022, according to its financials, the company has spent $637 million on development, with 2020 and 2022 averaging over $106 million a year. Assuming that a company continues spending around...
Whoever made this Reddit post knows nothing about business, knows nothing about finance. It was one of the dumbest posts that I've ever read. The Scarecrow 216, man. Like, the revenues are healthy. They will continue to... The reason they're pushing so hard is to get Squadron 42 out so they can get another abundance of cash in from Squadron 42 to continue going. They want to get the return on investment. They need the ROI on Squadron 42. So don't fucking worry that they spent $637 million out of $790 million. Don't fucking worry about it. They're okay. I've seen the financials. I've seen the P&Ls. I was one of the first in the space talking about how we needed to see them open up the books and be transparent in America because they're a private company. And they did. And they're fine. I saw them. They're okay. We're okay. The ship's not sinking. Everything's fine, everybody. And guess what? Squadron 42, it's probably going to bring in a lot of money. My guess is it's going to bring in quite a bit of money.
Around $100 million a year. It doesn't take a mathematician to realize that $790 million raised so far at the time of writing is on the verge of or is likely run out. This would also imply that the company is not also bringing...
Yeah, from Scarecrow 216 or whoever the fuck Scarecrow 216 is in his basement with his motherfucking yelling down at him or some shit. Scarecrow 216, the financial guru who's in his basement while his mom's fucking yelling at him to get upstairs and do something with his life. Scarecrow 216 is going to tell us that, watch out, the sky's falling. I can read. Look at these numbers.
Bringing in crazy amounts of revenue, which Cloud Imperium Games actually is. Now, Cloud Imperium releases their
And then you got these people that had like 3.8 million subscribers. This guy, okay? And this is what I'm talking about. This is how shit really starts. And this is how these narratives get pushed out here. And then everybody gets all in a frenzy and they fucking click, click, click. And these guys are getting paid off this shit. They love it. They love the drama because you're going to click and they're going to monetize you, man. They're monetizing you. They're taking money from your eyeballs. They're taking your attention. They're getting that mind share. You understand? They're getting your mind share and they're getting paid for it. And advertisers want that shit. This guy's going to talk about how it's a complete mess. That's how he gets his money. That's what he does, man. You think he's going to tell you everything's fine? No, that's not clickable. That's not going to make money. That's not how humanity works, unfortunately. People want the bad news. They don't want the good news. They want to be told like rational adult things. They'd rather just fucking run around like chickens without their heads. Craziness, man. And then this guy ends up reading Scarecrow 216 Reddit post and takes it seriously. This guy takes it seriously. This guy looks at this guy with 3.8 million subscribers. This guy takes a Reddit post from Scarecrow 216 and takes his financial opinion seriously. The 32-year-old in a basement with his mom screaming at him to do something about his life. Scarecrow 216 makes a Reddit post. It gets real popular because the sky is falling. And then some ordinary gamers with 3.8 million decides to read the Reddit post, and it gets out there in the fucking masses, and everybody gobbles it down and goes, oh yeah, they barely got any money left. Scarecrow 216 in his basement.
Johnny, get up here. You didn't throw out the garbage, Johnny.
Mom, I'm posting a very serious post about the fundamentals and the finances of Cloud Imperium. You're going to have to wait, Mom.
Johnny, you get up here right now. You wash these dishes. What are you doing?
Mom, I'm posting on Reddit. And then he made the big time. Scarecrow 216 made the big time because 3.8 million subscribers, some ordinary gamers decides to read his post and legitimize it. Good job, Johnny. You're making a name for yourself.
their financials. So one that I found in 2022, this was released beginning of like this year. So of course, according to their financials in 2022, the amount of money that this company makes.
Look at this. Does this look unhealthy to anybody? These are the total sales pledges and income. This is what you want to see in a chart. I think anybody over the age of 14 can look at this and say, wow, that's actually pretty good. You want to start in the bottom left and go to the upper right on a chart, okay? This is good. When it comes to income, if this were an expense chart, you'd have some troubles. But this is their income. This is their sales pledges and income. Does that look unhealthy to anybody? Greg, listen, I don't know if this is what this guy is saying at this point because I'm enraged, okay? You just got to understand, Greg, I'm kind of enraged right now because I'm battling to like 90% of the fucking shit out there. So, you know, this guy actually might be agreeing with me right now, but I'm on a tangent. You understand? I got a live show. So I'm just letting people know that are wondering, hey, Scarecrow 216 got a point here. Look at this Scarecrow 216. Look at this, Johnny. Listen to your mother. Go do something with your life. Get out of the basement and quit posting about financial shit that you know nothing about, Scarecrow 216. Look at this. Look at it. Just look at this. Does this look like a business that is floundering or failing? Does this look to you like a business that is not healthy? I mean, if you can't answer that, I don't know what the fuck you're even doing here. You do not belong here.
Is astronomical. Literally, when they first started out, this is again calculated in thousands of US
Greg, sure, let it out, champ.
dollars, so around 7.2 million for 2012. But that number ballooned up substantially the following year. And while it kind of stayed in the same place, it wasn't until 2019 and the next couple of years that Cloud Imperium Games, despite not having a game come out, has seen their entire amount of sales blow up. Now,
because there is nobody else doing this. They are cornering the market. They're cornering the market on the everything game. I've seen Star Atlas trying to promise the same. I've seen a couple others trying to promise the same, but this has the most work with the most people. and the most results, even though it's slow, that I've ever seen, and the biggest scale. And in terms of it getting done, we've had Chris Roberts had some successes. He's had some failures, but he's had some successes. And anybody that can do this with a business should be respected. This is what your average fifth grader doesn't understand, that click hates and hater baits and is upset about. This is what your average kiddo doesn't fucking get, I guess. And that's all you hear. You hear how the ship's going down and it's a scam and blah, blah, blah. And yet here it is. Here's the fucking chart.
If you look at the blue bar over here, blue is the amount of sales pledges that you'd find. So pledges being those ships I showed you earlier. People buy crazy ships, and there's plenty of Star Citizen whales that just love to spend crazy money on buying ships that they can show off to other players in this universe, okay? It's like many games out there, okay? No matter if you go into the free-to-play space, you'll find tons of people buying shit with their actual credit cards just to flex on other players. Not that they get any intrinsic benefit out of it. I've personally never understood buying a game and then spending money on top just to not play it. So of course, then you've got subscriptions to the service because of course everyone's got to have a subscription service, and of course other income. But most of their money still apparently comes from all those sales and pledges of the game. So again, it makes a interesting question. Why even bother finishing the fucking game when you're making hand over fist in cash on an unreleased product? I mean, quite literally.
I mean, with that line of thinking, eventually we'll stop spending, right? I mean, that's what happens. People will stop spending. Demand will go down and numbers will plateau, and then they'll go down and contract, just like every business cycle. And that'll happen. If they keep doing this year after year, that'll happen. Eventually, those numbers that we saw on that chart, eventually they'll go down because people will be like,
they could not finish this game by 2035, and I still feel that they would make crazy money because of the insane community that has kind of gathered around and believes in a project that still has yet to materialize.
Like the people that were cultists of Apple, like the people that were cultists of Tesla, you know, they all gathered around. What those people were cult members, you know, everybody that believes in something's a cult member, you know, God forbid you believe in something, you're a cultist. You're a cultist. God forbid you want to front run disruptive technology. God forbid you see ahead of everybody else. God forbid you got a brain. God forbid you got an intelligence. God forbid you be a dreamer. God forbid that you be with people. Hey, it might fail. It might fail. But you know what? God forbid that. Yeah, just fuck it. Just fuck it. Don't do that. Just fuck it, right? Just fuck it.
So another big issue that kind of kicked up was a problem around their actual employees. So one thing from GameDeveloper.com that was posted through Insider Gaming.
We talked about this in length last night. I went complete mustache mode on this shit. Because I had a stash and for some reason it's gone today. I have no idea what happened. The stash was a little crazy. It just appeared on my face. It's a long story. You have to watch last night's stream. It's a whole thing. It's a story. But last night we watched this whole bullshit about how people were like leaking information. I'm in a game dev and I got to work longer. Everybody in game dev goes through these crunch periods. Everybody. They got a fucking specialized cafe in their goddamn work environment. They can get like specialized lattes and shit. I would love that. Give me that shit. They're working around like in an office that's got like sweet ass sci-fi furniture and you feel like you're in the verse and they spent too much money. You know, there's always some weird ass angle. Like if I'm an employee and I got this cafe where I can get whatever fucking coffee I want and the place is all decorated like I'm actually in Star Citizen, I call that shit cool. I don't bitch about that shit. Give me that shit. Spend that money on me. Make my morale go up. Make me have that special latte that I love with the cool foam gel. Give me that shit. Great. I'm a happy employee. Guess what? I'm in the game dev world and you want me to crunch this out and you're making me work more? Yes. You know why? Yes. Because I work for you. Because you fucking pay me. Because I understand the game dev world. Because I do this shit, so I have to do it. That's part of what you do when you sign up in the game dev world. On day one, you know that shit when you're coming in the game dev world. And these motherfuckers come and they cry and they leak all this information. We're being treated so inhumanely to get out a finished product that looks nice, glossy, and playable in Squadron 42. And guess what? You didn't do it, guys, because it fucking crashed. So you weren't working hard enough because your asses should have been there on Sunday. That way the game wouldn't have fucking crashed and the fucking shit would have gone out without a hitch and they'd have more sales because of it. And because they didn't do that, and because they bitched about it and didn't work those Sundays, Squadron 42 came out and crashed, and there was less revenue because of those people. And in my mind, you're fucking fired. If I'm the boss, you're fired. Get the fuck out, you weak motherfucker. Get the fuck out. That's how capitalism works. You got to put your heart in it. You got to be in this shit. And listen, if you got a family, you got kids, I get it. I'm a dad. I'm a single dad with fucking 2 kids all day long. I get it. It's rough out there in the world. I'm not trying to say it's right. I'm not trying to say it's right to push people to work this way, but people in the game dev world, this is what is the norm. I'm not saying it's right, but that's what the norm is. If you're going into the game dev world, that's what, for the biggest event of the year, CitizenCon, and you're trying to sell a product and you want to bring in revenue so that you can continue to pay all the employees, then you should be in a fucking team-oriented environment and want to push to get out that project so that your company continues to survive. That's how grown-ups act. That is the real world. When I'm working and my boss tells me to work longer hours and I got to. Well, I'm going to say no. I might not like it, but that's what work is. Who the fuck are these entitled fucking assholes? Who are they? Why is that not the fucking news? Why is that not the fucking news story? Who are these fucking entitled kiddos, man? Crazy shit. You don't like it? Quit. Get the fuck out. Find a boss that's going to treat you better. Start your own business.
Was apparently the Cloud Imperium had actually enacted a 7-day work mandate for Star Citizen developers because of that CitizenCon I talked about earlier. So according to the people over at Insider Gaming, the way that they discussed it was that apparently an internal email was sent to the staff that states the company needs to double down over the next 18 days to make sure that once again...
Oh no, 18 whole fucking days. 18 days. Ooh. Oh my, I can't handle it. I can't handle that. Oh, I gotta go to the cafe and get my specialized latte. These motherfuckers are the same people that leaked that they're overspending on themselves. That's how fucking fragile and weak these motherfuckers are. They literally leaked information that Chris Roberts and the company are spending too much money on themselves. Let that sink in for a moment. You're an employee. You got a cafe, you get your special fucking latte with the cool foam gel. You leak to a reporter that the company's overspending on luxuries that benefit you. Hold on a moment. Just let it sink in. Let the entitlement sink in. Any rational human being, adult, is going to understand the absurdity of these motherfuckers right now when I say that. They're literally ratting on themselves. Let it sink in for a moment. This is the information that we're taking away from this. Where is that angle at? Who and why are people not talking about that as the story? Everybody picks up this story. I've seen this story like 1,000 times from 10 different types of genres of content creators out there. Whether in your entertainment, video game industry, tech news, I've seen this story from multiple sources. And always the story is, oh, it's such a sad thing. It's such a shame, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Where are the adults in the room? Where are the fucking adults in the room, man? Have people gotten so weak and fragile? The fuck?
And we create an amazing experience for our community. And that includes finalizing this one big patch for Star Citizen. So yes, while the game's not out, we're trying to get to patch 4.0 of an alpha build of the game. 1.0, I'm telling you, Star Citizen probably won't release, and I'm being very charitable, until like 2030, 2031 if I'm being nice. But the company's mandate, apparently according to this email, said that this means the next 2 weekends will be mandating extra time for all those working.
Oh, where? I would fire these fucking pricks so fast. Oh, I would fire them. Oh, and they're going to find out. I said this last night. Don't think they won't find out who these motherfuckers are that leaked this shit. Oh, well, oh. No, they're going to find out because there's plenty of fucking loose mouths up in that business. Everybody's going to know who you are. Everybody's going to know who you are, and you're going to be fired, and you deserve to be fired. They're going to find out. They're going to know, man. They're going to know who you are that leaked this shit. And they should fire you. But God, if they don't, oh my God, then I got to question the business model. On
deliverables for CitizenCon. So the actual mandate apparently allegedly said all staff are to be in the office on Friday, October 4th and October 11th, typically a work-at-home day. All staff are to be in the office on Saturday and October 5th and Saturday, October 12th. For these days, the company will provide breakfast and lunch, with staff receiving company TO.
Oh, that's so horrible. They're going to serve you breakfast and lunch. Oh, that is horrible. This is absurd, man. This is ridiculous. What?
OIL, which is time off in lieu, which can be stored and used.
What? Oh my God, this is making me sick to my stomach, man.
Used for time off at a later date. All staff are to work on Sunday, October 6th and Sunday, October 13th. So yeah, the company is.
It even said it can be a. Did you guys read this part in the parentheses that he failed to read? This can be a work at home day. It can be a work at home day. Wow, man. Weak. Keep saying it. Offend people. You see it, you call them what they are. Weak. You get just the participation trophy that you so love. Guess what? There's winners and losers in life. And these people, they're fucking losers. They're losers. Weak. Call it like you say it. Just call it like you see it.
Sunday, October 6th and Sunday, October 13th. So yeah, the company is kind of like putting in crazy crunch just to meet this annual convention for a game that hasn't fucking released yet. It's
the outrage from him. They're working overtime to get a product glossy and nice that they thrive on. Like CitizenCon is the biggest #1 seller of the day besides IAE. Those are the two biggest moments in the year of sales. Without that, they're not a business. They don't have a job without that. This guy's outraged, man. How dare they do that shit? How dare they? How dare they get imposed, have to work these extra hours? Yes, motherfuckers, yes. So that the business can make money and those people can get paid. You're on Team Cloud Imperium if you're working there. Are you not? That's like if you get signed. You're... Never mind. I'm just getting so upset.
Insanity. Now, if you watch anything related to Star Citizen, one word comes to everyone's mind, and that is scope creep. Now, since the last time I covered Star Citizen, interestingly enough, there's been more gameplay added on top of it. Now, I didn't even touch upon base building last, but apparently there is actual crazy base building in the...
I mean, the absurdity of what was just said there was like, imagine you get signed to the Chiefs and you're playing against the Broncos and you're the fucking quarterback. Okay. You get signed. Mahomes, bye Mahomes. DG's coming in and I get signed up and I'm like, sit, hut. And I drop back. I got the ball. I'm in the pocket. I'm looking around for somebody open to pass. And then I run it and wait in the touchdown zone for the Broncos to tackle me so that they get a safety. So they get 2 points on the safety every play. That is the absurdity of what I just heard. You know, like, you're literally playing for the other team, DG. What the fuck are you doing? Oh, no, it's cool. It's cool. I'm just going to drop back to the TD area. I'm just going to drop on back and let him tackle me every fucking play I get. Say, There goes DG. He's running backwards. He's going to his own touchdown. Uh-oh. He's going to the 10, to the 5, to the... Wait, that's not his touchdown. He knows it's not his touchdown. Oh, DG just gets tackled in the end zone. It's a safety. Woo. And he's doing it again, ladies and gentlemen. Fucking run back, go back to the TD, get fucking tackled again. Oh, shit. professional says, how long have you been streaming, DG? Too long, man. Too long. Too long. Too long, man. Maddie says, you suck. I want my homes back. Maddie, you're fucking awesome. she's yelling out. She's in the fucking crowd. She's yelling, DG, you suck. I want my homes back. Maddie, Maddie, I'm mad about you, Maddie. Sorry. That's the philosophy, though. That is the philosophy of what we just heard. That is literally exactly what's happened with these leaks and these people who are supposed to be on Team Roberts. They're supposed to be fucking fighting to get this product out there in the game dev world, working extra hours to get a finished product during one of the most fucking important times of the year. In a world where that is normal, in the game dev world, and that is exactly an analogy put succinctly so you understand the ridiculousness that I fucking listened to.
Entire game as well, meaning that you can land on these planets and apparently build a base, much to the similarity of something like Fallout or even Starfield. God, I hate saying that. If you actually look at it, it feels pretty close to it. And I don't know if they're ever going to expand on this to the point where they're going to try to create Factorio in an MMO. God forbid they go down that road trying to get things to work. The game barely functions as it is in alpha. We're talking about a game that you're lucky to be hitting 30 to 60 frames in the towns, in the cities. And then God forbid you go into space. That's probably where you'll see a playable frame rate. But this is a game that has a long ways to go with.
And the most important being the server meshing tech. That is it. That is the make or break of this game. And I've said it a billion times. And everybody knows that. Anybody that watches this channel knows how important server mesh tech is. I say it every time. This game is make or break dependent upon server mesh. And by that, I'm talking about the MMO. I'm not talking about Squadron 42. I'm talking about the PU, the persistent universe. It is dependent upon server tech. And they're the only company trying to do this with dynamic server meshing tech. And when I talk about this, people go, oh, dynamic server meshing exists in other games and blah, blah, blah. And yes, of course, I understand that. But they're reimagining how it works. And they're trying to give it a fucking evolution, an upgrade. And they're the only people doing it.
Optimizations, and not to say that it's all bad or anything. The game is very good looking, but clearly there needs to be more focus put on delivering a proper game versus actually implementing more and more features that have yet to really materialize.
Let them do it. I want as many features as possible. It's the everything game. Let them do it. What the fuck is the problem with that? We've been waiting this long. What the fuck is the problem with it? You got a problem with the time that it takes? Play another game. Go outside. Do things in the real. What is the big fucking deal?
For instance, there's a great website known as www.club.net where literally...
The whole reason why Chris went this model with fan funding and is very successful at it, mind you, is because he didn't want time restraints or time limitations, and we were okay with it back then. We knew back then it was going to take forever. Maybe some of us were thinking it wasn't going to take this long. That's a fair, valid point. But like, we knew it was going to be a long time for the everything game. We voted on all these stretch goals that we saw at the very beginning of this video. We absolutely went in knowing this was going to take a long time. The adults in the room understand that there's going to be a lot more time dedicated to this before we even get close to what it is that we want. We're not being fooled. We're not stupid people.
CitizenCon 2023. This is from last year. So they're like, listen, guys, this was amazing. The intention was to deliver everything presented within the coming 12 months. So this is how you read these lists. 29 out of 56 listed features in that entire point was released. So everything...
Like, look, Backspace got upset with master modes recently. Here's a great example. Our friend Backspace. He got upset with master modes. He doesn't like the flight experience. And my point to Backspace is master modes will be changed again. Master modes is kind of what they're doing right now because it's compatible or the vision that they're seeing with the way they need flight in Squadron 42, and it'll feed into that. And then after Squadron 42, it'll be refactored and thought about again, and flight experience will always change. So it's a moot point to me, master modes. I know right now a lot of people are upset, Backspace being one of those valid reasons. Understand the point. Big fight in the Star Citizen community about the flight experience. It's nothing new. It's been a fight since the very beginning. I'm not happy with the flight. A lot of people aren't happy with the flight. Listen, it's not perfect. It's nowhere near where it needs to be. We all know that. We all know that. It's no surprise. We're not being fooled, right? Like, my point is what did Backspace do? He bought Forever Winter. He's an adult. Forever Winter, fucking banging, awesome title. Backspace is having a good time. He's an adult. He's like, fuck it. I'm just going to change a channel to Forever Winter. I'm going to play this game for a while and I'm set. That's what a rational adult does. They don't just stick around and like fucking like, you know, it's crazy.
Thing in green ended up coming out. Red means obviously it didn't. Do we have...
And if more people change the channel, it'll do Cloud Imperium some good. It'll increase the time frame, or it'll increase the amount of people that they put to make time frames decrease. Hopefully, it'll make better decisions because people are going to spend less. They won't get the same revenue eventually. It's going to plateau. It's going to start going down, and they're going to have to kind of rethink and reimagine the way they go about the business. And one of those things might be, hey, let's actually push out more things to get people back in because they stopped spending. But so far, we have not hit that point. But we will hit that point. That happens in every business cycle. People will get tired if this is the way that things continue to be, and they will stop spending money. But we have not seen that yet. We have not seen it in the numbers. We're going off facts here on DG360. The numbers are not showing a decrease yet. When they show a decrease, it'll be for the reason I just stated, because people are starting to get tired. The numbers reflect the truth. Analytics.
Base building? No. Do we have engineering? No. Do we have one of the star systems? That'll come soon. But do we have the FPS HUD and user interface? Thank God that's available. Static server meshing? Not so far. What about the future of the actual game engine? Do we have quantum travel effects? Do we have fire simulation? No. But do we have water simulation and deformation?
Sorry about that. Thank you, Red Bear. Look at the amount of green check marks. I know. God damn it, Pepe. I know. Quit muting me. Look at these question marks. There's 6 question marks and there's 7 green checked items. So 7 out of the 13 are completed, over halfway. Okay? Like, there are green check marks here. No? There's more green check marks than red question fucking marks. But what are we going to do right now? Well, let's focus on the red. Let's focus on the red and not the green. I'm sorry, I see more green than red here. Am I missing something? Am I missing something? Guess what? These were all red at one point. Am I missing something? What am I missing? You know why you're clicking these. You know why you're clicking on these videos.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
You are being manipulated. And you're fine with it. You're completely fine with it. Java B says, I'd rather they refine, which can be a redo of items, than hurry to push it all out. Let the baby cook. Yeah, Java. Yeah, exactly. Like, when it comes to like feature creep, let them continue to think of really cool shit they can put in the game. Why would you want to stifle that? Because you want the fucking title faster? You've been waiting this long, you dumbass. I mean, like, what's it gonna fucking hurt at this point, man? You're in it to win it, or you're just fucking, I mean, like, we have been in it this long. If they want to bring in new ideas and shit, it's the everything game. And if it's a bad idea and my fucking logic doesn't pan out, well, then you will see it in the numbers. People will stop spending. The revenues will go down. And that's just the natural order of things. When people get tired of things, they stop spending. The spending is through the roof. We saw the chart. It has not slowed down yet. Erad says, DG, let me tell you how too long this video has gone. I was able to launch Elite Dangerous, take 3 delivery missions, all 200 light years away from Leah Bees in Imperial space. I went to all 3 destinations, got attacked by pirates, survived, and went back. just landed and this video is still running, dude. All right, listen. I think I've seen enough necks. I've heard a lot of people. This just seems to me like always the same thing. Manufactured drama and bullshit. I mean, like, if you're getting that upset about this shit, I gotta ask yourself to look in the mirror for a moment. Just ask yourself, is it that big of a deal? Like, really, at the end of the day. At the end of the day.